the topic of this panel is positioning the Nigerian economy and the financial services ecosystem in Africa, it says actually, but specifically Nigeria is what we want to talk about. Positioning the Nigerian economy and the financial services ecosystem in Africa, and what we need to do, what the imperatives for attracting sustainable foreign capital flows. You've met my panel. Let me go to our host with that very the question is, how do we attract sustainable foreign capital flows? Oscar Onyema, NSE.
Markets operate on confidence. If people have confidence in the economy, in our markets, and in our ability to maintain a platform that supports just and equitable principles of trading and is fair to everybody, then they would come in knowing fully well that you have integrity in the marketplace. So I think that is the first thing. And then the second thing is driving policies that make it easier for people to access our markets in such a way that they can derive value and extract that value in a seamless way.
I'll move over to His Excellency Babatunde Raji Fashola. We heard a lot about some of the changes that are happening. My question is a simple one. What are you asking of the capital markets? You've got them here in the room here. Let's keep this simple. What do you want them to do to help you?
Well, I like the way you put it, but I think it's rather not to help me, it's to help us.
Okay. Us.
And I think the bottom line really is first to understand the shared responsibility that we have in our nation. The government as the facilitator and the enabler for private sector to do exactly what it exists to do, which is to drive growth, to drive development, to drive employment, and so on and so forth. And what we expect to see is more involvement in the enduring investments that the nation needs in terms of infrastructure, rail, housing, airports, seaports, and so on and so forth. I think the time has come when we should understand that roads really belong to everybody, not to government. Airports belong to everybody, so there's an opportunity to own an airport in every economy. If the understanding is right, we can structure the investment that goes to buy, to build, or to create it. I think that's about the best way that I would like to put it.
Some of the themes we've just heard from distinguished minister as well as Oscar. How can the capital markets help? I mean, it's not just about the equity capital markets that can assist from an infrastructure and power perspective, span all the way from, the loan capital markets, fund capital markets, and into the equities. So when Minister talks about, ownership or shared ownership of airports, various capital markets globally have put together, power infrastructure fund platforms that then list their units on exchanges and get investors playing the story that way. Of course, international investors, want to play an infrastructure theme in Nigeria, in Africa more broadly. And the other side of the equation, which is developers, general partners, asset managers of those infrastructure projects, look at those funds favorably because that gives them a tool to earn their development rate of return, which can quite often be higher than a typical enterprise. So I think a development of the fund capital markets is important, a development of the loan and project finance capital markets with maybe multilateral organizations and other pools.
Multilateral organizations like
like EBRD, IFC, guys that get involved early. And then I think back to Oscar's point about integrity, market surveillance, market structures. The two exchanges are here to provide that sort of safety net, a systematic way such that investors' capital in these countries, in these nations, is safe and secure from an international perspective.